Hi everyone, I'm so excited to get started. This is my first ever video on my brand new YouTube channel. I've been called to do these readings for spirit for some time now, but I just haven't felt the need and pulled for the moment. You can hear the birds literally yelling outside. They're my spirit guides for this month. I've been warned by a number of online psychics and psychics that the birds are going to be very present this month of February. So it's currently February 2025. Well, actually it's January 31st, but I'm probably going to upload this either late for the 31st or on February 1st. I'm going to try to make videos every single day from now on, at least for like a little bit, and I'm thinking I might sense the energy of the universe. And so this reading can be about anything. And if you see this, if this comes across your timeline, then that means this is very specifically for you. This is meant for something that you have to hear. Because earlier this week, I want to talk a little bit. Earlier this week, I basically was sensing that there was going to be issues with travel. And because Pluto, Uranus, the new moon, the brand new moon, and Mercury are all in Aquarius. And earlier this week, see, I'm a professional actor. And earlier this week, when I was in New York City for an audition, in the middle of me trying to head to New York City, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the transit went completely down. And so it took me an hour and a half to get from where I live to New York City. And then when I got to New York City, the one train subway went down because someone unfortunately threw themselves in front of the train. And then in addition, the next day, that helicopter accident occurred where all of those poor, unfortunate ice skaters all unfortunately were killed because of this crazy, and to me that's a really clear sign of the conjunction, which means the alignment of Mercury and Pluto, so travel, death and upheaval, and then Uranus, strange. So whenever Uranus and Pluto are together, it's strange death, and with Mercury, strange death in transit. So how crazy is that? So I had that really strong impetus earlier this week, and I said to myself, you know what? I need to start doing collective messages and talking to spirit, because I had this really strong notion that people were going to be hurt. So when all this happened, I was like, oh my God, I was right all along. This is crazy. And this is what I get for not paying more attention to spirit. So you and I together today, and please subscribe, and you're going to hear a little bit of something every day. Hopefully this message is really for you today. And I know that it will be. It will reach exactly who it's meant to reach. And also, to be honest with you, I really could use more of a better job while I'm waiting for more theater work. So, maybe together we can also overcome our earthly limitations, like needs for money, and understanding that it's been so hard for me to learn that asking for money from spirit is okay. Like in my mind, I want to live this amazing spiritual life and go back to the way humanity was before, where we didn't have to do anything revolving money. We just lived and we hunted or grew from the land. But where I live and what I do, it's just not possible. And I am firmly butting up against the constant necessity needs, especially in my Saturn return, of daily items, capitalist items, which is so unfortunate. But maybe together we can figure out why spirit wants that for us and why that's okay, and we can heal that wound or guarding money, that it's now that we're no longer spiritual beings, now that we're in this human body, and we have to conduct ourselves to this humanic code that already pre-existed. How do we adjust to that? And I really want to talk a bit about that. Oh, look at that, that fell. Here, I'll adjust that and come right back, don't worry. Okay, I'm back. Thank you so much for waiting. And I also went ahead and grabbed some other things. So I'm going to read to you this little passage about the week ahead. I figure this is a good move for us every week to talk about what's coming in the week ahead, and also give you some book suggestions for things if you're interested in more spirituality. The Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton. Absolutely a fabulous read if you want to read up more about what goes on in heaven or journey after death. and spirituality, this is a fantastic Bible to start with. I mean, it has a lot of really lofty thoughts, but I grew up personally in the Catholic religion, and I became disillusioned with it. Even as a teen, I was really aware that things that I had experienced in my own life did not line up with their doctrine, with what they had told us to be true. And for example, just to give an example, and I hate to yap, I will definitely get to tarot, don't worry about a thing. But I feel that if I'm being called to talk about this, someone could hear this today. When I was 18 years old, when I lost my virginity, I was afraid. First of all, I was aware from a very young age that I was not straight. And sorry, I'm getting like emotional. I was told that was very evil, and that was like something that was being pulled from inside me, like a dark demon kind of place, especially back in the early aughts when Catholicism was really, serious, when they were really dead ass about their doctrine and what they were teaching. And even then I thought it was somewhat evil to tell people that that's the way things had to be, that God hated you unless you did exactly what he told you to do. And when I lost my virginity at 18, I swore to God that I was going to be struck by lightning, because I always felt like I was, not to say chosen, but that I had done my very best to follow in the spirit and the footsteps of God closely. So I never wanted him to be unhappy with me, but I had to do something just to prove whether or not it was true. And I woke up the next morning and it was a bright and shining day. There was nothing wrong. I hadn't done anything wrong. And it was then that it occurred to me that spirit is so much bigger than what man can force it to be, to follow whatever it needs it to be. Does that make sense? Like, humanity wants certain things to happen. Men want certain things to happen. So they force God as this sort of all-knowing, all-seeing jailer, which he is not. He is not. And I also think it is amazing that God left us such an amazing tool as astrology to tell us what the focus is going to be on. So with that in mind, here I'm going to read this passage for you. So week of January 27th to February 2nd. Happy Lunar New Year. The first moon of 2025 takes place on Wednesday, and it is a very lucky one indeed, making an auspicious trine to beneficent, bountiful Jupiter. Ideas and plans made at this time will bear abundant fruit over the course of the next 12 months, so start drawing up a roadmap of your life journey. Mercury moves into Aquarius on Monday, shifting the focus from the material world to the loftier, more intellectual concepts. Tuesday is another day that is best spent creating a vision for the future, be it for business, love, or creativity, while Thursday is ideal for showing those closest to you how much they mean to you. Buy them a gift, cook them a meal, or send a text letting them know you care and appreciate them. Even the smallest gestures will make a huge impact. The week is so full of exciting, uplifting vibes that you may be worn out by Friday evening. So you may not want to schedule anything too hectic for that night. Weekend outlook. Saturday is another excellent time for romance, passion, art, and spontaneity. If you are single, plan a daytime or evening date. You can't go wrong either way. Sunday is perfect for socializing and catching up with your friends during lingering brunches and dinners filled with nonstop eclectic conversations. Celebrate the Lunar New Year by creating an action plan for 2025. Isn't that lovely? My best friend got me this book, so that's something lovely to consider. Okay, and now I'm being pulled to start tarot. So first, let's give a little prayer to start us off. Whew. So I believe in the archangels, even though they're not necessarily proven, but they are part of my spirit guide team. In my humble opinion, I do believe them to be. I believe the archangels to sort of be examples of higher vibrational beings created by God, if that makes sense. They're sort of, I think of archangels literally as vibration. So they are doers for God. They're just names for the vibrations God puts out, so to say. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, so Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Raphael, great healer, Archangel Gabriel, the great announcer, Archangel Azrael, the great passenger of death, Archangel Chamuel and Haniel, they are believers in love, Archangel Jophiel, Archangel Zadkiel. Please send us good, wonderful messages straight from the divine, and send us something to consider today, and give us a big lofty message. What is the collective thinking about? What do my people who are watching this video right now, which I know I will upload because I've finally been called to, What should they keep in mind for this week? What are things you think the collective needs to know? I know this is a very big question, but Archangel Metatron, you are God's direct right hand, his secretary. So if he had to tell us anything, oh, look at that. Oh my God, we have some already flipped cards. Wait, that's so bizarre. That's so bizarre. I always put my cards back. Wait, that's so bizarre. That's never happened to me. Wow. Okay. Really interesting. Anything else you want us to know, Spirit? Oh, thank you very much. Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. Anything else you need us to know, Spirit? Anything else that my people watching this need to know, or otherwise? Anything along the lines that might fit your overall, your interpretation for this week. Thank you. Wonderful. Let's take a look. So, to start us off, it feels like we know that we are in a very fantasy inclined time. It's feeling like all the things that we're doing are just coming to a halt somehow. Like we keep trying to reinvent ourselves. We keep trying to get new footing. That's what I'm being shown. And I'm being shown this image of like trying to step and then your foot falls. So you keep trying and then you get frustrated. You get upset. Like, well, just why can't I make this next step? Why can't I find that footing? And it feels, I see feeling overwhelmed or fear of criticism. You know, at what point I have to ask you, you know, have we figured out what the thing is that's holding us back? If you had to pinpoint what the thing is that's, if the person that's yanking you off the step, the thing, what is it? Is it yourself? Is it your fear? Is it someone else? What can we do to circumvent? Spirit, what can we do to circumvent the issues and get ourselves onto that next step? What is the thing that the collective or my people watching this need to know to get themselves up to that next step? What is the thing that's going to take them and make them feel grounded the way that they need? Closure. Have you gotten the closure from the previous cycles that you need? Oh my God, what an interesting answer, Spirit. Thank you. Have you closed out everything that you needed to? Have you said goodbye? Have you made sure that all of those doors that were open are now finished? And if you are unenthusiastic about the plans for the next step, if you don't feel pulled at that moment to do it, are you sure it's the right move? Sometimes Spirit stops you from moving on the step that you're not supposed to be on. And that can be the thing that be the most frustrating, because maybe while you're falling off this first step, now I'm being shown like Super Mario World, where the steps are moving, the thing is moving, it's floating this way, and you're trying to jump, and you just, and underneath is just the sky. So if you fall, you go crashing. But maybe what's happening is that you have to wait. You're not supposed to step on this step. So Spirit brings you in a more proper ladder to the next thing. Spirit has said from this exact reading that we should all be at peace. We should trust the process. We have everything that we need. So why is it that we're getting frustrated with the necessary nominal next moves? Does that make sense? We have the teamwork coming in. We have the collaborations. You're going to get the project that you want. It's going to go fabulously, and you're going to get the money you need. How interesting is that? That before I was complaining, I'm like, I just don't have anything going on. It's been so upsetting me, and I don't have the money. And the pressure for money has been sitting on me in such a painful way, because I want to be able to pursue my interests. You know, I play guitar. I want to be able to sing and worship and do all of those. Sorry. And do all of those lovely, wonderful things to give back. But I am confined. And I feel that I can't be the only one. I can't possibly be the only one. I apologize for getting emotional. I shouldn't. I should never apologize for having emotions and for feeling empathy and for being sad. That we have created for ourselves a world where all of these are necessities. That we don't live in a socialist world where all of us can just exist. I mean, during COVID, we were proved by the government, at least the American government, that we could. There's absolutely a world where they have the money for this, and we all exist peacefully, you know, especially because we pay for healthcare for other countries. So it's just the incompetence and the masculine nature of America that has created this dark feeling. And I think sometimes, you know, I work with a lot of Native Americans. I work in professional theater. and I do gig work. Oftentimes I work with actors, or I'm on wig teams, and I work sometimes as an associate designer in positions, and I've worked with a number of really amazing native artists, and they have opened my eyes so expressly to the fact that this whole country, this land, has been cursed by the bloodshed that has been on it. And sometimes I really feel, I don't know if you've ever heard of epigenetics, but sometimes I really feel epigenetics is the study of generational trauma passed down through the bloodline. And sometimes I feel that America, or the land that we are on, can be a sufferer of epigenetics as well. I just really get that feeling. Maybe that's an impetus from spirit. It just feels like all these new beginnings that we've had keep coming to a halt. But what's the next move, spirit? What should we as the collective keep an eye out for? It feels like so much is going on in the atmosphere with Uranus and Pluto. I really would actually like to ask, why those deaths? Why have we been seeing those deaths in the media recently, especially in transit, or that poor person that fell in front of the train the other day, in front of the one train? What's going on in the atmosphere that all of this is occurring? Thank you very much. I also saw a popped card from Spirit. Yep, right here. Look at that. Wow. Undergoing creative blocks, doing it for money, making a better decision. You don't wait in vain. You are suspended for your good. Wow, how intriguing. It just feels like sometimes these moves have to happen to wake us up as a collective and remind us what really matters. It's okay if we're undergoing these or we hit these blocks, and then spirit has to do something drastic to wake up the collective's mind to this idea of, we are suffering. We are all suffering. Pisces is the great sufferer, the great hanger, but we do not wait in vain. We are all making shifts towards the collective goodness. I read this incredible article by this this psychic who channels the great Mother Mary, and Mary has been saying that she's going to start giving other countries besides America, like she's going to give little impetus to scientists or to people in other countries, because they are now becoming further along than we are in their great grand scheme of learning and of feminism, which is not an evil term whatsoever. It is equality. It is equality. And Mother Mary wants to push us as a collective towards better equality and better representation for women who are humans, who deserve rights. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, let me get some of this. Oh, need some of that. Oh, ooh. And look at that with Moon at the bottom of the deck. Illusions, fears, anxieties, secrets, feared secrets that have been kept from us that we need exposed and brought into the light. And sometimes it feels like Spirit believes that drastic measures are the only way that that's going to occur. What does my collective need to know? What does my collective need to know? Archangel Natasha, thank you for all these amazing, clear answers straight from the divine that you have given us so far. But what does my collective need to know? What does my collective need to know? Yes, we are facing difficult decisions. So Spirit is aware. Spirit is aware that what we are going through is tough right now. Spirit knows that you've been suffering. Spirit knows that you've been fighting uphill. Spirit knows that you are missing relevant information that would help the whole situation. But that's part of what the secret is, and that is what we are trying to bring to light at this point. I mean, now that Pluto is in Aquarius, you know that so much is coming to light. So much is going to be brought to our attention in the coming days. Oh my gosh. It's just really so much to think about, but it can be tough too on an individual level. What should they focus on an individual level? Thank you, Spirit. Reclaiming power. Thank you, Spirit. They should focus on being confident, on being noticed, on being passionate, on fighting for what's right. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional again. Oh, we should focus on the good fight and on protecting ourselves. And some people, oh my God, I read this the other day and I'm being pulled to talk about this again because I think about this all the time. People are constantly using the term earth angel, which I love. But people forget that angels are not these pushovers. Angels fight. Angels are harbingers for God. Think about the ancient image of the Archangel Michael. Okay, there's this, when I was in Catholic school, they told us I will never forget this, that while Jesus was on earth, the gates of heaven were, a bird just flew by my, oh my God, a blue jay just flew by my window. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. What an incredible message. Oh, they want me to talk about this. While Jesus was on earth, the gates of heaven were closed. I know. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but I never forgot this. The gates of heaven, it's in the Bible. The gates of heaven were closed. So all the souls were sort of like bouncing off of heaven and going into hell. Now, in my opinion, and from what I have heard from the spirit realm and from multiple books of the spirit realm, there really is no hell. Humanity is studied overall in human. Once you pass on, you are rejoined with your collective soul family, and you all review as a group what you've done wrong and haven't done wrong, and all decisions made in this earth even out to be exactly what they need to be, which is a beautiful thing. Yes, even the most evil person you can think of, because the truth of the matter is everyone has good and evil inside of them. All of these morality assignments that you've given to things, we all can afford to review and talk about them and grow collectively as souls and as humanity. But in the story, the souls that would have gotten into heaven bounced off the gates and ended up in hell. And the Archangel Michael, the great avenger, flew down once Jesus passed into hell and took all the souls in his arms that would have gone into heaven and stole them back. I just saw another blue jay. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. And took them back up to heaven and saved them. Angels are avenging. They fight the good fight. They fight and protect. And in the case, in the sense of evil, in the sense of danger, they literally come. My father a few months ago had a heart attack, and I could hear my mother screaming from downstairs. And she screamed this scream that was so visceral that I knew immediately what it was. And I leapt into action, and I had this insane psychic intuitive download of Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and Archangel Raphael running with me on my heels as I flew down the stairs. I found my father dead, but I picked him up and lowered him to the ground while my mom was screaming, and I performed CPR and I saved his life. He came back to life. And all I could do while I was pumping his chest was pray. And people forget that in those moments, those are the moments that the avenging angels come, and they are with you whenever you need them. So if you can take away one aspect from today, from this reading, I would say to you, please consider when you are alone, when you are going through something hard, when you are in the middle of something, do you pray? Do you stop for a second and say, Spirit guides, please help me? They have to be told to help you. They have to be given direct, consent. They are believers in consent. They have to be given direct consent from you as well to intervene in your life in a way that you're saying, please guide me, please help me, please work through me, please take over my hands and my body and my mind and show me what it is that you want me to do for me. And in those moments, they will answer you. And I have found that to be true across the board. I could sit here and tell you all of the direct intervention that God has had in my life. But my father dying and coming back to life is one example. So reclaim your power. Be confident in your own ability. Everyone is psychic. Everyone is psychic. It is simply a practiced skill, just like guitar. It is all practiced, and the more that you do it, the more that you practice it. And this is my promise to you also, that I will practice this every day from now on as well. I said to myself I would start February 1st. Oh well, I started a day early. Spirit called me to this a day early. Okay, good. So from now on, every day, even if it's 20 minutes, I will spend this time with you, and we will go over where the collective energy is at as well. So do you have any closing thoughts, Spirit, for today? Anything to keep in mind for the rest of today? I know this is quite a drill, but you know what? We're going to do it together. I make this commitment, and we'll work together. Yes, healing is needed. Yes, God, healing is needed. You know, the final wrap-up message is reflect on how far you've come. If you're seeing this message right now, you are part of a small collective to begin with. Let's just be honest. And together we can help raise the awareness of people and to help break them free from not only the chains of man-made, cut up cut up religion, but also to free your mind and to open yourself up to other people and to their way of living and how they might be different from you and how that is holy, how that is not just good, how that is not just wonderful, it is holy for them to be different from you. And what an opportunity you might have to learn from other people who are built differently than you, who experience different lives. Oh, I'm getting emotional again. Who have contributed different things to this society. Where can we merge? Where can we find ourselves coming together in a point that is beautiful for all of us, and for a way that to make God and our ancestors proud for everything that they fought for to get us to this moment, to make sure that we have everything that we need to continue the work that they have done. And by closing the cycles of the past, like we've gone over, by reflecting on the past, by honoring our ancestors and those that came before, and even our past lives and what they had to learn to put us in a place that we have certain skills already imbued in us in this life. Why did your soul choose the exact astrology that you have? Why were you given the tools that you were given? Where is your north node? What are you meant to learn in this life? These are all questions that if you have not done the work, it's so important that you do, because the only way to move forward and to grow larger is to understand where we came from, to understand our past, to understand, previous lives, us. What have we grasped? What have we not grasped in order in this life? And guess and check. And guess and check. If you feel like something isn't proving to be true, guess and check. My entire young life, I was tortured by the fact that I thought that, I was worshiping God wrong, that other people were worshiping God wrong, that that there was a certain mikopa way to do it. And that's just simply not true. Oh, I'm sorry. I know this is a big thought. This is a lot of thoughts. I'm gonna take a little sip. Hopefully you have a little drinky too that you could take. Taking a deep breath and understanding all the energy here it is too. I mean, this is heavy on my chest as well. But I just want to thank you for coming and spending this time with me, and for even considering. I know these are a lot of lofty thoughts. This is something to journal about. This is something to consider. These are big thoughts for the day, but it reaches you when you most need it. If you've been seeing angel numbers lately, that's spirit trying to call you back to a place of speaking to and listening to spirit and understanding, or even asking questions. Why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing like 1111? Why am I seeing my initials in other people's license plates? Why am I seeing these things? Why am I getting the same thing over and over? That's all spirit trying to knock on your door and send you that step that you need to take towards that next thing. Because believe it or not, growing your mind spiritually is the point of this life as well. And any chance it has to call you back to that is a good one. And there's one more thought I want to leave you with before I head out for the day, which is, in the age of Pluto and Aquarius, spirit, God, Yahweh, Allah, is being given back. Worship and direct communication to God is being given back to the individual user. Okay? All this time, all of humanity, and especially the past 400 years, men have tried so hard to create this division between the person and God in the forms of church or correct tradition or certain like ways of doing things. Like, for example, I think about mass and having to take Jesus's body over and over, like as if this was the only way to worship God. And there's this crazy kind of not to say diaspora, but there's a difference. There's a distance in that from you and from God. And there is no distance. That has been made to separate you from being able to worship him yourself, from them yourself, to be able to speak with them and have them directly intervene in your life. If you think that you are too small, if you think you are too insignificant, get rid of that thought. That is the devil in this, is the idea of your own insignificance. Get rid of that. You are just as big and as important. Think about all the things that had to come together in your life for you to be exactly where you are, for you to be alive, for you to be breathing, for you to still be alive, for you to be working, and for all the people that you have touched, whether advertently or inadvertently in your life. The true evil is the separation between you and your creator. And bridging that gap is all that we can seek to do in this life. Okay. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this amazing message. And thank you for listening and for joining me, hopefully, on my journey. Hopefully you can subscribe and we can travel along this together, and I'll try to give you something every day to think about, or at least when I can. And we will work together to raise the consciousness of what needs to be done for humans and for us in our spiritual journey. Okay, thank you so much, and have a beautiful, beautiful, amazing rest of your day.